Hey, Blake T. Wilde here, and welcome back to the triumphant return of the Comic Schtick Podcast. The Comic Schtick Podcast. It's been a while because I have been focusing all of my time on the Civil War full timeline experience right here on the channel. We just finished this. Today was the last day after nearly 3 months, 83 daily episodes releasing starting May 3rd and ending July 24th. And my God, was it something. It was interesting. It was tiring. It was exhausting. I went into it briefly in the last episode, The Initiative, covering the final bit of the Civil War timeline. Man, it took a lot out of me. And it was, whew, boy, it truly was the most exhausting thing I've ever done for this channel. And no one else made me do it but me. I wasn't forced to do it. But, like I said in the credits, the brief credits at the end of the video, the reactions and just the comments and people role-playing along with my in-universe posts that I was doing for the show, that really made it all worth it, and especially seeing people's reactions saying how much it meant to them just to have something like this sort of daily routine, they eat lunch or before they go to work or school or something that really tugged at my heartstrings. So that made it all worth it. I'm really glad everybody enjoyed it. All right. I am live streaming this. Is this a thing people do? People live stream podcasts? I don't really know. The only YouTube account I really follow for comics is Comic Pop, and they do it. So I don't know. Is this my new thing? Do I start live streaming the Comic Schtick Podcast and then upload it as an audio format later? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Who knows? There's people talking. There's people in my computer talking to me. So I need to respond to them. So, Sea Salt has a quick question for me. And that is, out of all the characters I voice, which character mannerism sticks to me the most? Probably it would be like Spider-Man or Johnny Storm, just in the fact that I just do my own voice and I kind of just play myself, especially when I'm doing Spider-Man. I use the same kind of tones and inflections. Sometimes I will find myself doing stuff around the house, like making a sandwich or just cleaning or just picking something up, and I'll start talking in a vaguely Eastern European kind of Dr. Doom voice, or, I was a strange kid. I was the only child. And a lot of my childhood was spent playing with my toys and coming up with all kinds of crazy accents and different voices for them to be. I remember just trying to kind of come up with my own, accents. I had a lot of Star Wars toys, so I was like, oh, well, they'd have crazy accents. So, nothing racist, but I wasn't doing the Transformers, the twins. I don't really know if there's any mannerisms that I carry over into my life, though. Of course, when I do start doing the characters, I like Ben Urich, when I was voicing Ben Urich, or at least trying to, it would be a lot of ums and ahs that would go into it. He's kind of nervous, and the same thing for Peter Parker. When I do Peter Parker and he's speaking to someone who isn't Mary Jane, he kind of isn't sure of himself. Then when he has the Spider-Man mask on, he is sure of himself. He's a bit more energetic kind of guy. Did I hear the news that Marvel is leaving NYC? Says Bookie Wookie. Yes, I did. I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. It does seem weird. I think it would be even weirder if they then decided to relocate the characters to the West Coast. And not in a fun, kind of West Coast Avengers way. In a full-on, Spider-Man lives in Burbank now. Although you could do the giant donut gag again. I'd like to see Spider-Man eating at Bob's Big Boy burger place. What else is going on? I feel a new way about Tony Stark, says Aaron Express. Thank you. I'm really glad. That was a big thing I wanted to try and push, because while I don't agree with Tony Stark's side of the registration situation, I did hope to sway some people to maybe rethink some things. And, be like, oh, well, you'll sympathize or empathize with him in some way, even if you might not agree with it. I thought that would be a kind of an interesting challenge to see if I could do. Let's see. Thank you so much for the compliments, Sea Salt and Luke Limbrunner. Limbrunner. Interesting name. I really like it. Sea Salt says, I gave the base story and room for the viewer to collect their own thoughts. Thank you so much. Super pooper scooper. It was definitely on my daily routine. I know daily uploads are pretty tough, but I hope you can do I do plan on doing weekly uploads. Here's the thing, just getting the stuff out of the way, this little interlude, catching up. We're doing a little catch up. That's what I'll title it in the timestamps. I'm going to do 2 more weekly, brand new episodes, and then it's going to be some re-uploads. And of course, if you stuck around for the credits in the initiative, the last episode, episode 83 of the Civil War Full Timeline, you will know what's coming up next. And with the new information that there is another video coming after that one, you can probably surmise what comic I'm talking about. And those 2 books were the hardest thing, the most grueling comic that I've ever covered on the channel. It took me a couple days to get through the scripts alone. And I recorded for about 2 hours. That's another thing. I already recorded this episode yesterday. I was going to plan on editing it and then getting it uploaded. And then the audio corrupted. It was unrepairable. I couldn't do anything to fix it. So I decided, fuck it, I'll stream it. Okay. I am reading your comment, Luke. Thank you so much. You requested not to be read out loud, but yeah, thank you very much. You're at Big Boy the other day, and it came out to $70. That is not bad. I went to Burger King today. For some reason, I've gotten really into Burger King. I hadn't been there in probably 10 or 15 years. I don't eat a lot of fast food. It upsets my tummy. But that one didn't, and it's surprisingly good. It's shockingly good. I can't eat McDonald's. That place makes me sick. But Burger King, good stuff. I am going to be playing more X-Men Legends. I hopefully should be able to get to recording that next week. Clayface trailer. Tactical J asks about the Clayface trailer. Did I see it? I saw the one that has that classic song play in it, which I can't remember which song it is, but I saw it before. Was it Supergirl or what was the other movie? Evil Dead Burn? One of those 2. Those are the 2 most recent movies I saw. I saw it. Looks good. I'm trying not to watch a lot of trailers, especially after the first one releases, so I haven't seen any new Spider-Man Brand New Day trailers. I was going to say I haven't seen a Doomsday trailer, but there's only one that's released. And so I haven't watched any new Clayface trailers after whatever the one is that has the slow song playing over it. Ian asks, what's the opinion on Peter Parker and Kitty Pryde? What is my opinion? I really like it. I really dig the ultimate Peter Parker and Kitty together. I think they should have lasted a lot longer. As a straight male comic reader, how can you not have a crush on Kitty Pryde? That seems to be the stamp to write at Marvel Comics. It's like, hey, did you have a crush on Kitty Pryde when you were younger? Yep. All right, hey, you're hired. Let's see. CJ Kicks says they're going to have to steel themselves for that upcoming comic. Be the first foray. Here's a spoiler alert for the upcoming 2 videos. I'll give it away right now. What's the order? One More Day, Brand New Day. Before I did the scripts, I had never read them in my life. Because why would I? Prepare to see a very similar presentation of that exact same line in the video, by the way. Oh, it has been an incredible year for horror movies, Ian. I'll get to it shortly, or eventually, but I am very excited for Resident Evil. I've never played any of the games. The Fart of the Cards asks if I ever plan on doing a collected edition of my own comics. We'll have to see about that. I did have an idea that I never got around to doing, which was creating my own version of compact comics, or, just like a smaller manga-sized comic of, like, Destructo Boy, my first comic series that I made 6 years ago now. Custodians is going to be way too many pages. I'm hoping to get the last 3 issues of the Custodians done. Obviously, I have not had the time to do it. But those books are going to be way too big, I think, to feasibly afford a printer unless I do some kind of Kickstarter. But I always put off that just because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to add to, like, incite people to buy the books. Like, trading cards, maybe? I honestly don't know. So I keep putting that off and just instead spend my own money to create these self-published books that I've done. But every issue of the Custodians is roughly 50 to 60 pages long. So that also means no comic publisher will ever pick up that book. Diego Sadri, if Destructo Boy had a collab, such as Spider-Man X Invincible, who would I choose to cross him over with? Well, I feel like people familiar with Destructo Boy would be like, oh, he's probably going to say Astro Boy. No. Destructo Boy is actually based on Bob's Big Boy. Second time it's being brought up. If I had to cross over Destructo Boy, it would probably... I'm going to go with Quasar and Adam Warlock. Because they're very cosmic characters. I feel like it would make sense. Like, who's doing anything with Quasar and or Adam Warlock? I'd lean more towards Quasar just because of the the Mark Grunwald connection to that character. I think he's dead in the comics, Quasar. So, like, who cares if he winds up in the Destructo Boy universe for a little adventure? I do not read manga, Ian. The only manga I have ever read is Ashida no Joe, which is a great book, I presume, because I own all... Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of volumes. I bought them all from Japan in Japanese, so I can only look at the pictures. But the gist is that it's kind of like Rocky before Rocky. It's about a young kid who's, like, getting in trouble with the law. He gets sent to, like, the equivalent of juvie in Japan in the 70s or 60s or whenever the books came out. And he gets trained to be a boxer by this drunkard who finds him on the street. Like, they pair up. They don't have any place to stay, so they're kind of living together on the streets. And he builds his way up to be a boxer. It's, like, a really formative, I think, story in manga, just in terms of, like, the popularity of that character. There was an action figure released a couple of years ago that I kept putting off buying, and I shouldn't have, because I really want it now. But the Joe character, it's like, it's rags to riches kind of story. Like, he becomes a better boxer over the course of these plethora of volumes. And the main reason I don't read a lot of manga is just I've never been into the anime or the manga style story telling, or rather the art style. It's always been off-putting to me, just the vast majority of it, which of course copies itself, because what sells is what people are going to do. But if you look up Ashida no Joe, Ashita space no, N-O, and then Joe, J-O-E, it's very clean. It's a very nicely done stylization, but it still has this kind of grittiness to it, especially early on. I also have a little vinyl that I bought that I've never played it yet. I think it's like a theme song for the character. Does One More Day and Brand New Day mean no Back to Black? That is correct. No back to... God damn it. No Back in Black yet. I'll get around to it eventually, I'd imagine, but right now I am trying to bank on the new Spider-Man movie coming out. Does Destructo Boy sound like a little kid, or does he have a robotic voice? I'd imagine it's a mixture of both. It's kind of like a tin, it's like a tin effect to it. That's a good question. I never really considered it when I was writing or drawing it. At least if I did, I have no memory of it. But I'd imagine he was created as, like... I don't remember why he was created, honestly. I don't don't know. I think it was just the scientist that made him, Dr. Jimso. I think he wanted a son, maybe? Or something like that. I can't remember. FLCL. I'm not sure what that is, Bubba. It's a manga, though. Am I planning on covering the return of Hulk and Thor after Civil War? Probably. I should get around to doing World War Hulk. That was asked by Mellow Marshy. So yeah, I will eventually get around there. I did do Planet Hulk. It was several years ago. It was 2020, so it's kind of a slow-moving book. But yeah, I will get to it. So let's get right into things now that we're 20 minutes in. We're doing a pretty good job at emulating a normal episode of the show, I think, with my goddamn ramblings. Marvel's Wolverine had its official story trailer released. Jean Grey, Sabretooth, Mystique, Sentinels, Lady Deathstrike, Omega Red, The Hand, Leech! Leech is in this game? I assume Artie will also be in it, but I honestly, now I think about it, I don't really know what the story is. I don't think they ever... it's called a story trailer, but they really don't set much up, aside from it looks like it's some kind of Jean Grey Wolverine team-up? Like they go on a mission together, I think? I'm not gonna buy it, because I don't own a PlayStation 5. So I'm gonna have to wait to find or I'm gonna have to wait until they release it on PC, pretty much. And by then, oh my god, can you imagine the mods that are gonna be out for that? Probably a lot of sexual things, but aside from that, is there dismemberment in this game? Now that I think about it, like, do they go that far? Or not? Because I know that Wolverine gets, like, his body shredded, and then his whole body and his suit folds back. Bubba says there is dismemberment. So if you're just, like, button mashing and Wolverine slash it, like, is he gonna fucking take off a guy's arm? The image I'm thinking of is, like, I think there was an early Star Wars game for, like, Revenge of the Sith that did dismemberment, kind of. Or no, wait, no. Jedi something, the Jedi games from the 90s, that had dismemberment, I think, where if you just swung around the fucking saber like a wet noodle, you could take off some very low polygon arms. Like, are they gonna do that? Like, I think they could, but I feel like if they don't, mods are definitely gonna do that. I really don't have much to say because I don't know much about this game. Because again, the story trailer for it showed really nothing. Oh yeah, Force Unleashed also did dismemberment really well, says Ian. Yeah, that's right. It's going to have as much, if not more, gore than the Wolverine Origins game. Well, that's good. That's a great game. I assume. I've never played it. I've only seen people play through it, but I would like to get around to that one as well. Yeah, I don't know. I just put this in my notes because it just happened. I think, when did the trailer release? Yesterday, I think. I can't wait to see what kind of other characters get into this. Like, how many of the X-Men are gonna show up? Is Kimiko gonna show up? Is any of the fucking other women in Wolverine's life gonna show up? I don't remember their names. And Indoko Mondo asks, how long am I gonna be going? Probably roughly an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. That's usually how long the episodes go. I gotta now do the tradition of a Comic Schtick Podcast episode where I say, this might be a short one, I don't have much to talk about, and then it winds up being about as long, if not slightly longer, than the average episode. Yeah, it would be fun to replay the X-Men X-Men, what was I even gonna say? X-Men Wolverines? That's how you shorten it. You're not a real fan of X-Men Origins Wolverine unless you shorten it to Wolverines. That'd be fun too. I'm looking forward to seeing the comparisons. Thank you very much, Ando Commando. Makes more sense. CJ Kicks says they're banking on the story focusing a lot on Wolverine's broken mind and amnesia, especially given... That's true. So the Wolverine game, that's pretty much what this trailer is. It's like a montage of just different aspects of Wolverine's life, like seemingly the present day is him with Jean on this like weird clandestine mission. But then we also snap back to like Sabretooth is there. And like maybe it's Weapon X, even though they got X-Men colors. And like Lady Deathstrike in the hand, there seems to be some kind of something going on there with Wolverine in Japan doing whatever. They recreate the panel from the Frank Miller comic. Omega Red shows up. And I can't wait to hear his thick Russian accent. There's a Sentinel. The Sentinel bit from the trailer is the one that really reminds me of the X-Men Origins game. Thoughts on Mark Hamill's voice for Wolverine? Is it Mark Hamill? Does Mark Hamill play Wolverine in this game? Wait, is that what you're saying, Luke? Or did Mark Hamill voice Wolverine in something else? Yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine is a terrible fucking movie. But the game is great. Although I think I remember enjoying it. I did do a commentary and like a little review for X-Men Origins Wolverine on the Patreon. And I think I came out enjoying it more than I thought I would. And like I don't know why. You know, just thinking about like the storyline and like what the characters or whatever. But yeah, I'm working off of really nothing on my notes about this game other than the names of the characters and the fact that it's some kind of team up with Jean and Wolverine. We see him dressed as Patch. He's Patch in Madripoor. I don't really know what else to say. Oh, that's right. Hamill did voice him in X-Men Legends. Oh, and X2. I can't really hear it. I can't remember what it's if anything, like what I'm imagining is just like a rougher, gruffer kind of Joker. Steve Blum, yeah, he's the best Wolverine. My stupid little Wolverine impression, when I do it, I think of like a poor Jack Nicholson or Cryptosporidium from Destroy All Humans, which was a very influential game on me growing up. I played that way more than I should have, probably. Yeah, I gotta take a drink. I don't have too much else to add regarding Marvel's Wolverine. Because again, like I said, I can't play it because I don't have a PlayStation 5. And God knows how long it'll take them to port it to PC. So I'm going to move right on along to the next topic of discussion, and that is Spider-Man Brand New Day. It is the big lead up. It is coming out next week on Friday. I have made my thoughts clear on the film a couple months ago when the trailer first released. Again, that's the only trailer I've seen. If you're interested, check out those, the last podcast. I did pretty much most of my theories and like rumors and discussions on Brand New Day, a bit on Secret Wars and Doomsday, but I'm not really excited for it. If anything, I'm a bit worried for it. And that's because it is seemingly adapting, The Other, where he gets the organic webbing, and I don't know. I don't have a real vested interest in it, I don't think. I don't know. I just don't have I don't have any kind of interest in seeing what happens. Obviously, I'm gonna see it, but like, there's not a burning desire to get to the theater and watch it. Let's see. Bubba says, less than The Other, I feel like it's adapting Neogenic Nightmare from the cartoon. I have never watched the 90s cartoon Spider-Man. There's my other controversial Spider-Man take, my Spidey hot take. I don't care for the 90s cartoon. I think the censorship that took over it was for the worst. It makes it kind of boring. I never liked it. When I saw it on TV, I would always hope that Batman the Animated Series would come on instead. Yeah, shocker. I know that bit. But yeah, I don't know. There's not much to it. But here is something no one else is talking about regarding Spider-Man Brand New Day. And that is, you might not have seen it, especially if you have something called ad block. But if you have, it is the Liquid IV commercials. Has anyone else seen these Liquid IV commercials starring Jacob Batalon as Ned, I forgot his name, in the MCU, maybe? Like, all of them are him, like, going to a corner store, or going to, like in his apartment or dorm room or whatever, putting whatever liquid IV, I think it's like a powder that you put in your drink for flavor or something, I don't know, I've never had it. Liquid IV, though, if you want to sponsor me. Is it canon to the MCU? That's what I want to know. Are those canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because all of them lead up into Ned's character in the next movie. Because based on what I've seen, what I've gathered, sure as hell seems like Ned is either one, just kind of obsessed with Spider-Man, two, obsessed with Spider-Man because he wants to figure out his identity. Three, this could merge into the first two, obsessed with Spider-Man because he feels some kind of emptiness within him, like he knows that something was taken from him, right? And that's what all, like, the one I'm thinking of, he goes to like a corner store and there's like a clip of Spider-Man on a TV when he's checking out. And he's like, wow, oh my gosh, who do you think that is? Or something. Yeah, he has a little back and forth with the cashier, I think. And then he walks outside and Spider-Man swings through the street. So what I want to know is, are the Liquid IV commercials canon? Because you may remember, there's a plethora of fucking commercials like with MCU characters. There's always a car one that's like an Audi or something else. Like I think Civil War had like Audi commercials tied into it. There was like a Scarlet Witch one maybe for something. The one that always comes to mind is the Coke commercials from I think Ant-Man had one where he steals like a little can of soda. But then there's the other one, which is the Hulk. It is the Hulk rampaging through Johannesburg, South Africa, from the scene in Age of Ultron. And he stops his rampage because he gets a tiny little can of Coke, like he's holding it in his giant green hand, and he drinks it and he calms down or something. So, like, obviously that's not canon. Obviously the majority of these fucking stupid commercials that we're never gonna see again. Someone please download these, by the way. This could be a great, like, lost media in like 5 to 10 years. Like, hey, whatever happened to those Marvel tie-in commercials? Like, where are those being stored? But, like, obviously, the Hulk didn't drink a can of Coke between when he's rampaging through Joburg and fighting the Hulkbuster. That doesn't not mean that it's not somewhere in the Marvel multiverse that he stopped fighting. Like, they didn't have to deploy the Hulkbuster because Hulk found a can of Coke. But, like, the Liquid IV ones with Ned... that definitely feels like they could easily be canon. Yeah, Hulk has never smashed licensed product placements. What is going on in the chat? What are you people talking about? Still laugh whenever I see Kingpin's moan trying to climb the ladder. Ooh, Johnny Boy it says, I am the reason they started collecting the Ultimate Universe comics. Nice. Those will be worth something someday. Bubba says, have I seen the NBA Finals from Homecoming? No, I have no idea what that is. I don't know. But yeah, that's my main takeaway from Brand New Day discourse. At least it was, until some other stuff has come up. Like, in the video I recorded yesterday, I probably went on an even longer tangent, just rambling about the possibility of the Liquid IV commercials taking place and being canon to Earth 199999. Because it's not 616. Listen to Aman Vellani, Kevin Feige. It is not Earth 616, it's Earth 199999. If you're looking for something to do, by the way, visit the subreddit Earth 199999. Hopefully it's still it's still standing. That's a subreddit I created a long time ago for people to like role play in the MCU. I don't have any regard for like what happens in it. I gave like ownership and like high mod priorities to someone else, so I don't know what's going on in there. I barely use Reddit anymore, so if you're looking for something to do, there you go. Oh man, I made that back when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was still on. That's how long it's been. The things that have come up though about Spider-Man Brand New Day. The first is that Tom Holland has been stated as saying that his movies will eventually adapt the symbiote storyline. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know I'm not the biggest fan of the goop suits. Symbiotes, Venom, I don't care about them. My idea for Venom, I realized when I did the Civil War full timeline, was that the character I think of Venom is much more the Mac Gargan Venom, where he's just this fucking monster that's scary, not quipping, zipping around, saving homeless people, living underground, Eddie Brock Venom, you know? So that is definitely some kind of setup, and that would make sense, because, you know, the symbiote was originated in the original 80s Secret Wars event, when it just popped down on Peter Parker, and he thought, hey, this is a weird kind of alien device that just popped out a suit that works for me, made of goop. I'm not going to think about this any further. The symbiote goop, however, there's that scene from No Way Home with the little bit that's crawling around on the bar with Eddie Brock. But here's some conspiracy-headed stuff. Hasbro has just announced a brand new action figure today, which is the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Goop Suit Spider-Man. Obviously, they didn't call it that. It's called the Symbiote Spider-Man. But that seems like a pretty interesting timing, right? That they release an alternate version of Spider-Man at this higher price point. If you're unaware, the Maximum Series is a new thing they're pushing, where it comes with more accessories, more articulation, blah, 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 blah. So they do that today for the first official day of San Diego Comic-Con. Also, San Diego Comic-Con's going on, so I'm going to have to talk about that stuff next episode. Todd McFarlane mentioned in a live stream today that he will be attending the Brand New Day premiere. Now, has Todd attended any of the other Spider-Man movie premieres in the MCU? I feel like he's never brought it up before, but I know he went all out for the Venom premieres, at least the first one. So, like, why would he be invited to this? If not for the fact that something involving the symbiote is taking place. Those are my theories. Let me know yours in the comments. My other theory is Brand New Day. For some unknown reason, people have got it into their minds that Brand New Day takes place, or would take place, between the next couple Avengers films, which I don't understand by that. Like what did they think would happen? That like the movie would end and it would be revealed that like they can't go past 44th Street in Manhattan or something because there's a giant wall separating them from the universe where everybody are dogs and everything's made out of fire hydrants or something? Like what kind of reveal would that have been? And it wasn't until Kevin Feige just came out. He's been doing a lot of interviews. Have you noticed that? He's been chabbering his little gob quite a bit this past week and a half for the lead up to Brand New Day, which makes me think that there's going to be some kind of bigger reveal in it than we expect. Aside from, like, you know, fucking Jean Grey, Sadie Sink. If she is Jean Grey, hey, I don't know. I don't know if she's Jean Grey. I've heard a lot of people say she might be Lila Miller. Maybe she's Lila Miller. You know, who knows? But he confirmed it is not taking place between the Avengers movies. It's taking place beforehand, before Doomsday, which leads me to believe there is going to be either... Here's my theory. The ending of Brand New Day is going to either be... Let me reword this. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's either going to be the end of the film or one of the credit sequences. And it's going to adapt the end of the Ultimate Spider-Man storyline. Not the one where Peter Parker dies, but the one with Miles Morales. Because the last story arc in the Ultimate Universe with Miles on Earth 1610 is like, it's him and his friends, if I can remember any of their names. Johnny Storm might be there, maybe? I don't remember. Bombshell, the little Bombshell, the young girl that swears a lot. Some other ones, Genki, maybe. But anyway, he gets kidnapped by Doctor Doom, who has, like, escaped the Future Foundation in S.H.I.E.L.D. and is now leading Hydra. He gets kidnapped by him. They fight a bit in a warehouse that is, like, run by Ultimate Hydra. And they win. They save the day. They stop the bad guys. And everybody groups up. I think it's like some hero characters and maybe some like civilian characters. Like I said, like Judge might be there. Remember Judge, the third character that never fucking did anything. And then they're like, all right, whew, that was tough. Let's get going, guys. And as they're like, you know, they walk up the stairs to the roof for some reason. And they're like, one of them's probably like, oh man, whew, I thought we were goners back there, but we did it. I was actually about to say, how could this day get any worse? And then they look up and they see Earth 616 careening toward their Earth. And it leads directly into the 2015 Secret Wars event. That is what I think Brand New Day will end with. Because why wouldn't you? You don't have anything else coming out. Vision Quest, maybe. But, like, not a lot of people are going to watch Vision Quest. And as much as it pains me to say this, it truly hurts, guys. My loyal viewers. I don't think Armor Wars is happening. I know I was really into Armor Wars. I know I've been petitioning Armor Wars to keep going. I wanted the show. Didn't happen. They switched it to a movie. So I was like, oh, maybe they have an opening in like a year and a half, 2 years. That could be Armor Wars. Guys, I don't think Armor Wars is happening. I don't think it's coming. So the only thing that is really truly releasing before all of this, because fucking Vision Quest is what it's called. It's a Vision Quest. It's like a soul-searching thing for a robot. And his dad, James Spader, who is also a robot. How could they not have something big and dramatic like that lead up to this? Maybe, like, it would have to be like the last post-credits scene if they do something with the symbiote. Like, if the symbiote... I don't think there's going to be a symbiote that shows up in the movie itself. That'd be weird. If anything, it might be... Again, if they're, like, adapting and taking stuff from the Secret Wars event, which they should, because I think James Gunn broke through that ceiling where we can stop kind of laughing off and ridiculing and ignoring the wacky, just exaggeration of the comic book world. Why would they not do this? And, like, take the fact that, like, you know, Miles Morales was running around trying to figure out what to do. He accidentally finds himself secured in Reed Richards, or the Maker's ship that survives the end of the universe. Like, something like that could be brought up. Like, and the symbiote could add to that, maybe. Like, it provides life support. I don't know. But it would be really weird if this movie just ends. Like, oh, cool. Nice. He did it. Saved the day. He stopped a hate crime, I guess. If Sadie Sink's character's a mutant. and maybe he got his webbing back. That's another thing that's happening. I know I'm getting a little long here talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think I went longer than I did yesterday. The webbing situation. It's organic webbing, right? He gets organic webbing. Is that what this is? Is that what this is? Which is interesting because that creates a sort of Ouroboros effect of a snake eating its own tail. Because Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movie comes out in 2002. Marvel editorial is like, holy shit, everybody loves this Spider-Man movie. That means they're obviously gonna rush to the comic book shops to buy our comics and read it. But then when they open the pages, they're gonna say, holy shit, what the fuck are those on his wrist? Why does he have that weird little bracelet thing? What, cartridges? Why is he talking about cartridges? Is he playing the Nintendo 64? What is happening here? We gotta change the comics to make Peter Parker have organic webbing. which is where they introduce the totem and the spider gods and all of that, which I really worry is going to happen in this movie. I really do. I don't know if Sony is going to get their way with any kind of extra Universal stuff, but I fear they might have really pushed for the organic webbing and the spider totem stuff. Yeah, I do think that they're powering up Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Ian, the organic webbing, they rip a sword in half. Like, they pull it to pieces. They rip apart the sword by its very atoms. But, so that is what happens. So, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, that leads to the comics then adapting the organic webbing, and that lasts for a while. That lasts for 6 years maybe? It ends in 2007, 2008. And then he goes back to just using the cartridges. Because fuck spider totems. Now, however, the movies are adapting the comic version, which was only in existence because of the other movie. So it's just going in a circle. Eventually, are the comics gonna switch over to something else, and then another movie in Kevin Feige's plans for the next 16 years is gonna then adapt that? It's maddening. Alright, what are people saying? Tactical J. A lot of people are saying Doctor Doom stopping Stormbreaker with 2 fingers was taken from Dragon Ball Z. Do you think it's wrong for Hollywood movies to be inspired by anime or use it? No, I don't think so. How many times have you seen someone recreate the Akira slide? Yes, Johnny boy, it is going to be a sticky situation. CJ, it's really interesting to consider the give and take multimedia synergy. Yeah, it's insane. Now, what is this synergy that's happening? It's self-fulfilling synergy? Aunt May's dead in the movies. Can we kill her off in the comics so Spidey can have his wife back? No. Sorry if that was loud. No. Fun fact, I only realized this doing the scripts for One More Day and Brand New Day. Spider-Man has just about been not married to Mary Jane for as long as he was married to Mary Jane. Alright, I think that's good for the spider talk, so I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is hopefully not going to take that long. This is just something ridiculous that I found out. Speaking of weird synergy stuff, has anybody heard of this? Have you heard about this? I need a little stack of papers to put together, like I'm Johnny Carson or David Letterman or something. Endgame Encore. So this is a new initiative which is being pushed via Infinity Vision, and I'll get to that in a second. Endgame Encore is the Endgame re-release in theaters on September 25th, 2026, under the new title Avengers Endgame Encore, which sounds like a mobile game. In anticipation of the sequel Avengers Doomsday being released in December 2026, the re-release will feature new footage, a custom introduction, which sounds like you could do a lot of fun stuff with it. I know it's going to be the most boring thing possible. It's going to be fucking Kevin Feige or the Russo brothers, one of whom is super short, by the way. I think it's Joe Russo, because I think Anthony is the one with the eyeglasses. Joe Russo, look up Joe Russo, SDCC 2025 or something. I think that's what it was, or CinemaCon maybe. I saw a photo of Joe Russo, Anthony Russo, and Kevin Feige and Robert Downey Jr. on stage. I thought Joe Russo was in a different plane from them. No. He must be 5'4" or something. He's tiny. He's like Wolverine. Is he gonna be Wolverine in the MCU? I was blown away. He must be even shorter than Robert Downey Jr., but you don't see him wearing platform shoes. And Robert Downey Jr., he's not short either. He's 5'8", 5'9", which is actually weirdly roughly my height. I'm about the same height as Robert Downey Jr., which seems weird. Obviously, I wouldn't be if I caught him out in public when he has his platform shoes on. But yeah, the introduction. The introduction of the custom introduction. I think they could have done a lot of fun with it. If anybody's unaware, Michael Eisner from the Disney Company used to do a lot of fun introductions for things, such as The Wonderful World of Disney, where he'd be interacting with Mickey Mouse in like a movie theater or something. Like, why not just do that, but with Kevin Feige? Have Kevin Feige interact with these fucking characters that he has brought into the world in some way that is totally earnest and fun. So yeah, new footage, custom introduction, new post-credit scene. What do you mean? Joe Russo calls the re-release critically important in the lead-up to Doomsday, with new footage acting as a narrative bridge between the two films as a way to enhance the story of Doomsday? What could that possibly be? Like, what do you mean? A narrative bridge? Are they filming things specifically to insert, like, from the set of Doomsday or Secret Wars, to then insert into this movie? Like, is Steve Rogers gonna have some extra scenes where, like, he goes into another universe or something and he meets a certain character? Or, like, what else can you do? It's like, is Doctor Doom gonna be involved? Is Don Cheadle gonna show up as Rhodey and just sit there and be like, how did we get here? And he looks up dreamily as like harpsichords play or harp music plays, and it flashes back to replays the whole MCU or something. Like, this is insane. It's also kind of embarrassing too, because the whole Disney Infinity Vision is a certification that the movie theaters have to get, or can get, for premium large formats, informing audiences which theaters offer, quote, the biggest, brightest, and most immersive cinematic experience. Which is ridiculous. Because Infinity Vision really is nothing special. It was created entirely because Dune Part 3 has a, like, contract to run 3 weeks exclusively on IMAX, once it releases the same exact day as Avengers Doomsday. How much money did Warner Brothers drop to make sure that happened and to screw over Disney? Because if you look it up, like, the list of requirements, it's kind of just stuff like any modern movie theater would have. Like, there's nothing really special about it. It's like, you have to have a 7.1 sound system. You have to have this wide and this this long, this wide movie screen. You have to have fucking something. You have to have big comfy chairs. I don't know. And I would love to know how that works too, because they're not sending people out to inspect movie theaters for Infinity Vision. Like, it seems like it's just like the movie theater chain, or like the manager, the owner, just like sends an email to Disney. It's like, hey, can I have Infinity Vision? Sure. So that's gonna be happening. Who's excited for Avengers Endgame Encore? Yes, Morphe says Avengers Endgame DLC. Bonus content is going to be about 3-second preview for oh yeah, that's probably what the credits, the post-credit scene is going to be. It's going to be like in Ant-Man, I think, where it's literally just a clip from Captain America Civil War, where Bucky has his hand stuck in a vice, and it's Steve Rogers and Falcon talking about it. Like, it's just going to be some inconsequential scene from Avengers Doomsday that gets added in as the post-credits. I would be shocked if they did something specific for Avengers Endgame Encore. Alright, what's happening in the comments? Foxtastic. Nothing with that he's short. Joe Russo. It just shocked me. I was taken aback, just because I guess I'd never seen him standing next to people before. Let's see. Endgame Encore, they put Yelena and Red Guardian in for 3 seconds. Yeah, like, it's gonna be something like that. Like, it's gonna be, alright, is it gonna be like when George Lucas added Hayden Christensen into Return of the Jedi? Like, you know, it's just a scenes, like, something shot behind the scenes that the actors didn't know what it was gonna be for? Boki Woki asks if I've heard of Marvel Token Fighting Soul. Yes. It's like a fighting game or something. I'm not into fighting games, so I haven't really cared that much for it. Ian says, I remember... Well, look, hey, don't delete your comment. I remember when they said Captain Marvel was critical for understanding Infinity War, and that tricked enough people into seeing it. Yeah, I guess she wasn't. Well, no, wait. No, was it critical for Infinity War or critical for Endgame? Because didn't Captain Marvel come out between? I think that movie came out between those two. I really like Captain Marvel, by the way. I saw it twice in theaters when it released. I guess it makes sense for the general audience. Be like, oh, well, who's this fucking, hot blonde who just smashed out of space and destroyed a whole spaceship by herself? I wish there was some kind of story that told me how she got here. And then Rhodey pops up and he's like, how did we get here? All right, Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday. Now, if you paid attention, you might realize that my thoughts and feelings about Spider-Man Brand New Day also carry over to this movie. Now, I love the MCU movies because I am a big nerd. I've yet to watch a lot of the recent Disney Plus shows, so I haven't gotten around to those, just haven't given myself the time. Even Wonder Man, which was the one I was the most excited for. I was the person in my life and, social groups championing Wonder Man. I was like, you gotta watch Wonder Man. Everyone I could possibly tell, even if the topic wasn't coming up in conversation, I would bring it up and be like, you gotta watch Wonder Man. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be the best Marvel show Disney does. And then I never got around to watching it. But I just don't feel the same, I don't feel that much excitement for it. Like I did when the trailer popped up. I got a notification on my phone that morning, which was like Avengers Doomsday trailer, official trailer. I was like, oh my God, a big gasp and the rush of adrenaline. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. But I likened it in the version of this episode you'll never see because the audio's fucked up. I likened it to if you see something on Amazon or an online store, even when you're out shopping, and you're like, oh my God, look, it's this thing that I like, that I wanted, that I've been thinking about. That's really cool. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna put it in my cart. I'm gonna buy this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this thing. And then, if you're you're in the store, you keep going, you get some more stuff, or by the time you make it to the checkout online, you're like, do I really want this thing? Do I want this thing? No, I don't need it. I don't need this thing. That is kind of what happened to me when I watched the Doomsday trailer. It just didn't capture me. And I don't think it was supposed to. I'm sure everybody that's commenting or watching this is going to be, we're a bit more in the know. We're probably, following rumors and leaks online, hanging out in Discords, on subreddits. The Doomsday trailer's for the general audience. And that is why it's so heavily focused on the X-Men. But yeah, I didn't get the same kind of excitement that I did for 28 years later, The Bone Temple, or Evil Dead Burn, Resident Evil, a game I've never played that I'm super excited to see the movie for. Dune Part 3 I'm looking forward to more. Coyote vs. Acme. Fucking even the Hunger Games prequel movie. Sunrise on the Reaping. Although in the Hunger Games universe, I feel like Reaping makes more sense, right? I'm looking forward to that more than I am Avengers Doomsday. I'm sure it'll be it's going to be enjoyable. I'm sure people will say it's dumb and boring and slop, and then other people are going to be like, this is fantastic, I cried the whole time. I'm probably going to be somewhere in the middle. I have not hated a single MCU movie. I even like the Eternals. So I'm definitely going to enjoy it. I'm probably going to cry in this. I cried in Toy Story 4, or 5. I cried in both of them, actually. I think I even teared up in Supergirl. So I'm definitely going to enjoy the movie. I don't see myself not. But at this point, it's just kind of all right, can we get to Secret Wars? Can we get to the reboot? I'm more interested in seeing what they do with Battle World. Hopefully it's not what that leaked concept art looks like, which is just kind of medieval Renaissance, a Ren Fair is the whole planet, instead of the vastly more visually interesting chunks of different realities all stapled together. Oh yeah, no, I didn't hate Love and Thunder Foxtastic, but I didn't love it. There's parts of it I liked. I thought it, obviously it could have been better. I was kind of ambivalent on it, I suppose. My favorite part, of course, is Jamie Alexander as Lady Sif in her comic accurate costume. So help me God. That's a big thing that I want from Doomsday or Secret Wars. I want Lady Sif to come back. I want her to be a badass, and I want her to have a cool destroyer arm. Because Thor hasn't lost his arm yet. So why not give the destroyer arm bit from the comics to Lady Sif? Let her fucking do something cool, because Jamie Alexander's awesome. But I really want to get to, I want to see what the new stuff's going to be. I want to see this soft relaunch of the MCU, rather than, the stepping stones that are here. And also, it probably doesn't help that I'm so, kind of intimately familiar with the Secret Wars event. Especially after I did, how long is that video I did for it last year? It's almost 2 hours long. So, it's not as long as the movie will be, but it's also, like a theatrical film length. I'm so just in love with that event. It's my favorite Marvel event. And I've read, the tie-ins that happen, leading up to it. And then especially the stuff that happens on Battleworld. I fucking love those books. Just this, hopping around to the different realities and seeing what's going on. And I know there's no way Marvel and the MCU is going to be able to top that. So, what would I get my hopes up for, really? Aside from an enjoyable film with characters that we followed, and hopefully a well-done story. Let's see. Everybody in Doomsday is the same as Captain Marvel, bunch of jerks from one movie standing around like they matter. Yeah, it's how much screen time are these people gonna have? Ian says he watched the Captain America movies recently and was pleasantly surprised. Oh yeah, the fucking Captain America movies are great. Especially Winter Soldier. Absolutely. Although I hold a very endearing love to the first Avenger. I was an odd child. I got very into World War II as a kid. You know how most people, the joke is oh, middle-aged dads get really into World War II when they turn 53 or 47 or something. That was me when I was 10. What else are people saying down here? Boki Woki, I kind of liked how the FF is finally meeting the Panther Namor. Yeah, that's cool. That's a neat little thing. I assume that's Sue is creating a bubble around them. I was why are they crash landing in the desert? But they crash land in the ocean, or at least somewhere underwater that they have to make a ring of air around. So that's neat. In the trailer, Ian cried like a baby when he first watched Toy Story 3. It was on the same day I had the worst haircut of his life. Oh man, you stayed home from school? Oh my god, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but that is very funny. And also, your profile picture's Morbius. Hope the Reed Doom rivalry doesn't get swept under the rug. Glad you brought that up. LB10 pound 10. So, this might be a spoiler, but, earmuffs. Here's what the rumor is for Doctor Doom. He lost his wife and kids. I hate this, by the way. I seriously hate this. He lost his wife and kids because of Steve Rogers interfering with the multiverse and all that other stuff, returning the gems to these worlds, blah, blah, blah. And that was the flap of the butterfly's wings in Japan causing the tsunami in Los Angeles. And I hate that. I have hated it since I first heard it. That and the Tobey Maguire stuff. You can take your earmuffs off now. And now put them immediately back on if you don't want to hear the Tobey Maguire stuff. So we see in the trailer, Professor X is looking solemnly out of a window in the X-Mansion, and he sees a planet exploding. Is that Tobey Maguire's Earth? Because there is a rumor that has been going around since last year that the movie opens up with a battle between, as two Earths incursion themselves. Is there a proper term for that? And it's the X-Men's Earth, and it's the Tobey Maguire Earth. Now, seemingly, this is going to be the actual Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Earth, unless otherwise noted. Unless, like, what I think would be hilarious, I brought it up before, is if the movie opens up with Tobey Maguire swinging through New York City, fucking hellfire's raining down, it's like the biblical apocalypse as the Earth collides with another one or gets about ready to. And he's like, oh my god, I gotta get home to my wife. And he swings through, and it's like Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen. But seemingly it's gonna be him. It's gonna be the one from No Way Home, which is the original one. But it's not the X-Men that we know. It can't be. Because Beast isn't Beast. Beast is not the Beast we saw at the end of Days of Future Past. And Professor X, blah, blah, blah. The X-Mansion, I don't know if the X-Mansion looks the same. I feel like it's different. But, like, that is something I like, is that, no. These aren't the characters. They're very similar to the characters you know and love from those old movies. This is just a universe that's slightly over here that works a little better in line with what we want. So I feel like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of grown men are going to be very upset and take to the comments online if they destroy Tobey Maguire. But yeah, it's supposed to be Deadpool and Wolverine fighting Tobey Maguire, and they have a little device to blow up his planet, which is much like what Namor and the Illuminati do in the comics, because this is pretty much adapting No Time Left, which is like the 2-year lead up to Secret Wars. Just blowing up Earths. Also, don't forget, Monica Rambeau is also on the X-Men's planet. She's in that reality out at the end of the Marvels. She's hanging out with her mom, who's not dead in that universe. So, they're doing stuff too. But those are the two big things, and I'll get back to the Steve Rogers later. If I don't, please remind me. Because, oh boy, do I got some stuff to say about that. But yeah, I do think that I don't know what rivalry they would have, Doom and Reed. Because with the comics, you had 50 years worth of stories, worth of time with these people and these characters, this universe, this fucking pocket dimension that only exists within these pages that are imbued into life via imagination. In the MCU, we have about 20 years worth of 20, 30 movies, some TV shows, and not enough screen time for everybody to meaningfully show up. So it also doesn't have that going for it either. I agree, Johnson, I hope we do get the Thor core, but I don't know if they would see that as oh, that's too goofy, that's too ridiculous, that's not a Thor core. Especially if they go down the route that Battle World is, or Latvarion, whatever they decide to call it, is a medieval, the whole planet is just medieval Europe. I hate that idea so much. So according to the rumor, says CJ Kicks, we need to keep in mind at the moment, it's still a rumor, Doom has Earth's Mightiest Heroes Kang's motivation? I guess so. Because he's trying to get Ramona. He's trying to save her life or something. That's a pretty basic motive, I think. That's also, you could say he has Mr. Freeze's motive too, I suppose. He has Kingpin from the Spider-Verse's motive, really, if we want to get down into it. Tactical J asks, Smokey, why do I think in the movie Sue is going to be swooning over Namor? No. I've never been into the whole, Sue Storm, actually. Oh, she wants to fuck that fish man. I don't like that. Also, that's, doesn't really happen in the books. At least not after a certain point. Especially when, probably when Stan was writing them, and he was like, oh, this beautiful blonde, she wants to fuck the fish man. Became more of my Jonah impression than anything. But I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, thanks to Marvel Rivals, which is something I gotta talk about next week with Queen in Black, which I just learned about. That is a comic event that is tying into the Marvel Rivals game. People think that Sue Storm wants to fuck Namor all the time, instead of just kind of be repulsed by him and his advances, even though she's happily married. Who else? Morph says Mystique and Cyclops have their original costume. Yeah, the costumes too. That's a great point, is that the costumes do not look like anything that would have ever happened in the original Fox-Men universe, which also leads me into a couple of notes. One, I am glad we get to see the Fox X-Men style X-Mansion get destroyed one last time. And two, what the fuck is this X-Men team? Who are these X-Men? First of all, where are the X-Women? That's what I really want to know. Like, what happened? There's no X-Women on the team except for Mystique, who is someone who can turn into a man or other women. Did the Sentinels attack? And, like, they only killed Jean, Rogue, and Storm? Is Jubilee off planet? There must be more that we just haven't seen yet. Right? Like, how do you do this and then not have Rogue, Storm, and Jean? Bring back Halle Berry, bring back Famke Jensen, bring back Anna Paquin, who I just recently learned, I think she was born in New Zealand. I was looking at a list of New Zealand actors, and she popped up. I was like, what the fuck? But like, where are they? The X-Remnants, X-Remains, yeah. Is that what it is? Because there's been leaked concept art that shows Doctor Doom hanging out with the Sentinels, and also my gimmick that I did yesterday in the original recording was that I was constantly playing the Doomsday trailer on loop on my monitor right in front of me. So I noticed that when Thor lands, and like I don't know what these statues are that's in this courtyard. It's like weird Roman statues for some reason. But in the background, you can see like robotic like legs and arms or something. So like clearly that's Sentinel. So they must be on the X-Men's Earth, but there's concept art or like previs, I think is what it is, of like Doom controlling some Sentinels. So Doom might be attacking the X-Men unless it was fake. It was breadcrumbs that lead nowhere. There's a red herring. Which is something that I do miss Disney doing in Marvel Studios. Remember when they just put fake stuff in the trailers? So, what have I discussed? I think I got all that stuff. Crazy on you? No, I don't hate the MCU. I actually, at the beginning of this segment, I went over all the reasons I love the MCU still, and how much I enjoy pretty much everything. Even Love and Thunder and the Eternals. Anya Taylor-Joy, bring her back as Magic, says Morph. Yes. I agree with you more than you know. I have had the hugest crush on Anya Taylor-Joy for years. And I was so upset when I finally got around to watching my Blu-ray copy of The New Mutants, which is right back here on my comic movie shelf, that they made her racist. And other than that, she was great. Oh, I fucking love her hairstyle, too. She has such a great hairstyle. She has the bangs, obviously. How can you be Magic without have the bangs? But I love, like, the ball buns that she has on either side of her hair. It just looks cool. It's a cool look. Am I excited for SDC Hall H? Yeah, I was actually spending time earlier. I was going through and editing some stuff for the upcoming videos and going through the list of everything that's happening at San Diego Comic-Con. And yeah, the Hall H presentation for Marvel is going to be an hour. It's going to be tomorrow on Saturday. I think it's from 5:30 Pacific time to 6:30. So I'm really looking forward to that. Can't wait to hear what they say about Blade and Armor Wars. Crossing my fingers. Yeah, half of Infinity War's trailer being bullshit. Loved it. That was really fun. The Hulk, or Bruce Banner running in the Hulkbuster suit. Oh yeah, Steve Rogers. Yeah, thank you for not letting me forget the Steve Rogers. Yes, Crazy on You. I'm probably just going to do the next week's episode. I think next week's episode is likely going to be, if you're new here, Crazy on You, which you might be, I'm not sure. Usually I would record these ahead of time, which is what I tried to do this week, but the audio corrupted, so I decided to do a live stream. Upload them typically every Friday, or every other Friday or something. So I'm probably going to do next week, brand new day. Gonna see it. And then, what was I saying? SDCC. And maybe Hadestown. That's what I'm more excited for to see. If you're unaware, Hadestown, the hit Broadway show that I really know nothing about aside from it's set in a weird post-apocalyptic world, is getting a theatrical release with a pro shoot released today. Totally forgot about it. I really wanted to go see it, so I might go do it, I don't know, this weekend or next week. It's only for 5 days. But I really want to go check it out, because I like weird musicals. Check out the Carrie musical, by the way. There's a ton of shows on YouTube. I fucking love the Carrie musical. God almighty, I'm tangenting, aren't I? Black Knight anywhere? Fucking no. Why was Sunspot white in that movie? Yeah, good question. Also, better question, or another question. Why'd the two movies about, black guys get canceled? We lost Armor Wars and we lost Blade. Although, if they are doing Armor Wars, which again, I really want them to, how fucking crazy would it be if tomorrow at Hall H, I don't know what, a song comes on, or it just blares over the speakers, and you hear a voice, and it's his own voice announcing himself. And it's Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer, and he comes dancing out on stage to announce Armor Wars. Oh my god, I would lose my mind. I'd have a heart attack out of pure excitement. Oh, thank you very much for watching. Damn, you've been here pretty much the whole time then, Crazy on You. Thank you very much. Watching since 2018. Venom Lethal Protector. Yeah, that was the one that really blew me away. My first real foray into Venom and realizing maybe I don't like this character. Let's see. Oh, here's something that just came up, which is the Latverian Witches. I did not know about this until I watched the live stream Sal from Comic Pop did earlier today about San Diego Comic-Con, where he was talking about it. So Latverian Witches is at the Marvel booth at San Diego Comic-Con. They put up, the mannequins with the costumes. One of them is titled The Latverian Witch. Yesterday, she was green. She was wearing a green cloak and dress and everything. A metal face mask of some sort. Then it was orange, and then it was purple. So are they putting out another one tomorrow? How many Latverian witches are there? Is there just going to be 3? Because if there is, then it kind of starts to make me think of the Norns from Norse mythology. It's been so long since I've read any of my books on Norse mythology. I can't remember the 3 Norns and what they stand for. It's there, not there, and still to come or something. They're like a stand-in for time and age or whatever the fuck. So the general consensus is that they might be 3 established characters that are working with Doom. People think Clea, the Ancient One, and Death from Agatha All Along, which sounds ridiculous. I think the theory that Sylvie might be the green one makes more sense, because she just purely makes a lot of sense, right? To be involved in this kind of multiversal kind of pyramid scheme that Doom is running. The Ancient One is a weird choice, though. There must be a better character to be the orange one, because that's what people are basing it off. I was like, what characters wore these colors? Ancient One was in orange. Honestly, I can't think of any other character who wore orange in the MCU. Crazy on You, 26. Your videos are like life. It starts funny but gets serious, but then funny and serious. Oh, it's a roller coaster. Comic Pop mentioned, yup. Who's imprinting on that? Oh, no. Considering Doctor Doom 2026 is animated like Ultimate Alliance PS2, they should copy that story, make the evil X-Men against the Avengers. Well, that's what I think it's going to be, is that I said it when the Marvels movie came out, the X-Men Earth is going to take the place of the original Ultimate Earth in the final incursion. So that's obviously going to be, the cousin idea in the story to that. Many are saying Peggy Carter is the Orange Witch. That would be interesting. Again, we also have to consider, maybe they're just going to kind of show up like Dracula's brides. Maybe they're just gonna be in the background. Maybe they're just gonna be like the cool like what are they called? The aides, the spiritual advisors to Palpatine in Return of the Jedi, the ones that like they get off the Imperial shuttle at the beginning of the film and they have like the weird tall hats. Maybe they'll just do that. DW says the female Doom masks remind me of more horrific vibes of Agatha. Hopefully they lurk in the shadows. Maybe, I don't know, could it be just not a real person? Maybe it's like a soul or like someone Doom killed. Maybe it's, could it be like his wife from another universe? Could it be like his mom? He split his mother's soul into 3. Maybe the real Steve Rogers is a sequel. Maybe all the Latverian witches are Steve Rogers. That's a great time to bring up Steve Rogers. So, Steve Rogers, he's back, baby. He's back! Oh my God, Steve Rogers is back? Steve, but he hasn't, but he's not Captain America anymore. That's Falcon. That's the Falcon. He's Captain America. Steve Rogers, he has the hammer. Oh my God, he must be Captain Hydra. I don't believe that one. That one's dumb. I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, the Steve Rogers. Brought it up before. Big issue with the fact that Steve Rogers is apparently tied to the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom. Because why wouldn't they do that? Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Civil War all over again. They're the cornerstones of the fucking Marvel universe. I gotta collect myself. Man, where do I start? Crazy on You asks, do I think Captain Marvel and She-Hulk are in this movie? Probably, but not much. I feel like She-Hulk might have more to do in Secret Wars. My big hope for Secret Wars is that maybe She-Hulk is in some way involved with... Because we see She-Hulk in one of the concept art pieces. But that doesn't mean much, because in another concept art, which I'm about to reference, we see Dupe. Which I think I have around here somewhere. Who is this little guy? We see Dupe. Now, is Dupe gonna appear in Secret Wars? I would lose my mind in the theater. It would be like a one-man chicken jockey if Dupe shows up in Avengers Secret Wars. But, man. Yeah, well, if he's Hydra, he can't be worthy. I suppose so. Or, something. I don't think it's going to be Hydra. I don't think there's a twist. There can't be a twist because they don't want to... Why would they do that? Like, that's just too painfully obvious, I think. So, Captain America. Here's the thing. When he's going back and returning the gems at the end of Endgame, remember when that came out, how happy we all were that we crossed the finish line? And then we looked up and it was like one of those extreme obstacle courses where you're running at like what angle is this? But when he's doing that, something's gonna happen. Maybe this is how the movie starts, or maybe it'll be revealed like at the midway point. Like this is the big reveal at it's the end of Act 2. When he's going through and returning the gems, he does something that alters something else. Who cares? But the big takeaway from that element of it is that Loki is rumored to have been the reason that Steve Rogers is in the is fucking up the universe. Loki, the one from the Loki show, the one from the alternate reality, where Cap says "Hail Hydra" and Loki escapes or whatever. Which do they get a gem? They steal a gem from that universe, right? Or does Loki? I don't remember. I truly don't remember if they steal another gem or if they get another one from that. Yeah, they get 2, right? Yeah, that's the whole reason to go there. Because they get the time one from the ancient one, and they try to get the blue one from from Loki, but that doesn't work, so they have to go back in time to the camp, and Stan Lee's driving along with Joan, and he's like, "Fuck you, fascists!" to the military base. Here's the thing, though. Oh, the mind gem. Yeah, that's what it was. Here's the thing, though. That reality gets wiped from existence immediately after that happens, as seen in the Loki show. They prune that Earth. So, Steve is checking that one off the list. Like, does that mean anything? I doubt it. I doubt it's gonna come up. But, seemingly, Loki is going to, at some point, from like sometime off screen, he is going to get involved with Captain America, not sexually, but he's going to get involved with Captain America, and I don't know, what, are they going to pass each other in the hallway of the TVA or something? Are they going to get on the same shuttle tram to go, oh, hey, you going to that Earth too? Yep. Yeah, I gotta return these gems. I don't know how they're going to cross paths and not sexually get involved. But somehow that happens. And the rumor goes Loki helps Steve, who is our Steve from the MCU, get with Peggy sexually and go hide away, maybe? Like, is he hiding him from the TVA? Because at that point, like, in the future, then it doesn't matter, because he's, like, kind of in charge of the TVA anyway, but fucking who cares? So the story goes, he hides them out on the Fantastic Four's Earth. And that leads to some stuff. So, like, the whole time the Fantastic Four movie's happening, maybe Steve Rogers is there. Because seemingly they take him back to, I don't know, the 40s or something. And, like, Captain America doesn't exist in that universe, so he's just a regular Joe. Loki is forging him, like, a social security card and identification. Steve Rogers gets to play out his own version of Stephen King's 11/22/63 with Haley Atwell. And that means that the timeline then becomes Steve Rogers' life up to Endgame. Boop, right here. He then splits off. And then what we assumed prior was that he goes and lives with Peggy after returning the gems and, being like, a good Samaritan. In a way, he returned the cosmic shopping cart to the cart corral. Is really what him taking back the gems is, right? What we thought was that, and then he goes back in time to, like, another universe. And he just spends his life with Peggy. And I cried a lot at that scene. And then he decides, at the end of his life, maybe, this is it. I gotta head back. I gotta give the shield to Sam. I gotta not talk to Bucky. Gotta sit on that bench. And then fucking who knows what happened to him after that. He returned back to his home. Steve Rogers has to return to his planet. Boop, 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 boop. Like Poochie from Simpsons. Who knew what happened? Now, however, are you seeing where this is going? Now, however, it means Steve Rogers, life up to Endgame, goes boop, 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 returns the cosmic shopping carts to the cart corral. Meets Loki, not sexually. Gets involved with him. Works to scheme his way to put Steve Rogers someplace else. And then them doing this, somewhere in this mesh of spaghetti noodles, to take from Michael Keaton in The Flash. Something happens that causes Dr. Doom's wife and kid to die. And he figures out it was Steve Rogers in some way. And he hates Steve Rogers with an undying fury. And that leads into this. And who cares? But that's like a side thing. So what the timeline now means is that in that mess, goes off with Peggy Carter. The MCU keeps going. He lives out his life. He doesn't live it out happily. He does not age up, just living life, maybe having a kid, watching his grandkids play like Little League or something, having to witness the civil rights for the first time in his life, the civil rights movements. Although that probably didn't happen on the Fantastic Four Earth. They probably had that sorted out already. But he doesn't get to do anything. What this now means, I feel like there's going to be a time jump and the kid might be a little older. So let's give it about maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line. Maybe Captain America's kid comes up in the new MCU. He has the kid. He has a life with Peggy Carter. Then he gets wrapped up in Doomsday. Then he gets wrapped up in whatever's happening in the next movie. The incursions happen. The Fantastic Four's Earth's probably going to get an incursion when the FF are gone. They're going to learn their planet's destroyed from Doctor Doom, who might be lying. Who's to say? So that also means, you're seeing where I'm going with this, that also means that old Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame is from the future, is from post-Secret Wars? Is that what it means? That he's already witnessed the next 2 Avengers movies. He's like me. He's like, I'd rather skip over those bits and just get to the new part. So, like, how are they going to tie this in? What does that mean? And I have 2 ideas. One is either they're going to not bring it up and just hope people forgot. But the other one, I'll get to after I read some comments. Even if it's not a great idea, says Aaron Express, I can see the producers giving the green light to insert Stevel somewhere, perhaps for the spectacle of it. Possibly there could be an evil Hydra Captain America, like in Secret Wars maybe. Like, get an actor that auditioned for the role to do it. I don't know. Get Alan Richardson to play a version of Captain America. Wouldn't be surprised if Red Skull pops up. I would be very surprised if Red Skull pops up. Thank you very much, Boki Woki, for telling me that I have a great Doom voice. I got a comment. I got a couple people saying that my Doom impression somehow came out sounding very similar to Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom voice and accent in the Doomsday trailer. No, actually, if anything, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom voice sounds like my Doom voice. Morphe, Cap with 80 years old is going to be a retcon for that new version of Endgame. Makes sense why he's basically a bit older than the original. Yeah, like, are they saying that he's already experienced everything? I'm too tired to talk, Sam. Just take the shield and take me back to the home. I've seen too much. This is an incredibly convoluted theory about a 5-second experience of a bearded man with a hammer in a superhero crossover film. But it's not gonna be 5 seconds. It's 5 seconds in the trailer, CJ. But it's not gonna be 5 seconds. He is gonna take up so much goddamn movie space. So here's my theory, and I came to this yesterday when I was recording. So you can imagine how manic I was if I'm like this right now. You can imagine what I was like when I popped when the idea formed in my little noggin. Anchor beings. We're all familiar with anchor beings. A concept that has only existed thus far in one film, Deadpool and Wolverine. The concept that Wolverine was an anchor being, which also might have been a lie by that TVA agent, but I don't really remember. So let's just go with the fact that it's true. Anchor beings. When that happened, everybody was like, oh my god, Tony Stark, he's the anchor being. And he's dead now, which means the MCU, the incursions, blah, 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 blah. I don't think so. Because they're putting a lot of weight on Steve Rogers' shoulders. I think Steve Rogers is the anchor being of the MCU, of the main Marvel Cinematic Universe Earth. I feel like that makes more sense. Because, not much has really happened since Tony Stark died. How long ago did he die in universe? It's been, probably closing in on almost 10 years now. I can't remember what... I'm pretty sure the MCU is in the same year as us. I think it's 26, 27 for them too. There was a time I really liked very early on after Endgame came out where they were a couple of years ahead of us, and then somehow we caught up. But I think Steve Rogers is the anchor being of the MCU. Now, where does that go for this theory about Avengers Doomsday and into Secret Wars? And how does this wrap into old Steve? Stoled. I think because of... Well, let me answer this real quick. Crazy on U26. How are anchor beings work? Or how do anchor beings work? What happens before they're born? I think the whole gist is probably like... The good question, because that brings in a form of like solipsism. But I'd imagine it would be like, you know, before they're born, everything in the universe is kind of leading up to the point that they're born. But then when they die, that is, I guess the universe dies, since we saw with Wolverine. That's fucked up. Man, it's a good thing the anchor being of our universe wasn't Hitler. Jesus Christ. Okay, moving on. So, Steve is old because he's an anchor being, says my note right here with 3 exclamation points. And we know Doom is going after Cap in some way. Doom has enlisted this group of followers. I almost forgot to bring this up. This is a little interlude. I almost forgot there's a leaked like previs concept art thing that shows like the Fantastic Four and some other heroes flying in a ship, a Quinjet. And there's one character that is like male, or seemingly he has a big broad shoulders, a cool black outfit, silver face, just like the Latverian witches. Doctor Strange, maybe? People think he might be Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange works for Doom in the Secret Wars event from 2015. He would hide his face, might be Benedict Cumberbatch with a voice modulator. Like, sound like Kylo Ren or something. And it also adapts the, it adapts the 90s Doctor Strange, where he had a blue face, where he was just a blank blue face with eyeballs. So there's that. Okay, back to Steve Rogers. My old man Steve Rogers theory. We've established Steve Rogers as the anchor being of the MCU. That causes problems when he goes to another universe. Maybe the anchor being of whatever the Earth is the Fantastic Four live on. Maybe it's Doctor Doom. Who's to say? Probably not. That'd be weird, but who cares? Who's to say? Maybe when 2 anchor beings exist in the same universe, starts causing issues. Some wires get crossed. Things start falling apart. But what happens when anchor beings, or what happens for an anchor being when the universes are all wiped out? What happens when the multiverse dies? I think Doom keeps Steve Rogers around. I think we're going to be led to believe at the end of Endgame that Doctor Doom is going to kill Steve Rogers in some way. Maybe he takes the mask off, Steve is taken aback, Doom uses that to his advantage. And then, just like in the Secret Wars event, Steve Rogers becomes akin to Molecule Man. In the on Battle World in the Secret Wars event, Molecule Man is pretty much the reason Doom was able to really do any of this, and he get his godhood and all that, and keep the Earth spinning, or keep Battle World spinning in the abyss, the vacuum that it was created after the multiverse was destroyed. He's like the battery. What if Doctor Doom needs an anchor being, and he needs one strong enough, and he also just happens to loathe and hate with every fiber of his body, not unlike Reed Richards. It's weird that Doom hates Captain America and Reed Richards, by the way. So, who's to say? Well, maybe he keeps him prisoner, keeps him hostage, to use as a kind of a cosmic battery to keep his new world a ticking. That's my general theory for why old man Steve comes back. That would probably take a lot out of a fella if he's having to keep a whole new reality in shape. There's an X-Men comic where they do something similar. I think it's in Extreme X-Men, the multiversal one from the 2000s, where they go to an Earth where the X-Men and the mutants are all being kidnapped and like their powers are siphoned out to keep Earth stabilized or something. Like maybe they're adapting something like that. But I don't know. I feel like that could work as a story point. It kind of ties into the books. You know, they take some ideas from it while kind of remaining a bit original. And again, what other way do you explain Old Man Steve? Oh, that is the biggest issue I think I have with these two Avengers movies. Is how's he going to work? Crazy on You asks, you think we'll get any other MCU movies except Secret Wars next year? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think they've even announced really anything. I don't know what they could have done. I feel like they spent all their time filming this. They finished Doomsday last year. They started filming Secret Wars this summer, so they're probably done by now. That's probably what they're gonna show at. Well, I don't know. They might have like a sizzle reel for San Diego Comic-Con, but they're probably gonna show like some scene of characters talking for Doomsday, and then it'll get leaked online. Aaron Express, how does Scarlet Witch work into that, anchor being wise? Either one, she doesn't, or two, Doctor Doom could siphon her powers. He could, like, wow, Doctor Doom's serious stuff. He fucking killed the Scarlet Witch. He could use her as like another kind of battery in and of itself. I don't know. Franklin Richards probably being the anchor being or baby in this case for the fan. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it probably is Franklin. And then, of course, Dr. Doom wants to raise Franklin to be his own son, maybe. Are they going to do that? You think they're going to do the whole Dr. Doom steals Reed Richards' family? Oh, my God. Please don't let this happen. Is Dr. Doom going to steal Peggy Carter and their kid from Steve Rogers? Oh, man. It would work more with Franklin and Sue if we had any setup that doesn't come from prior knowledge of the comic books. Man, I don't want that to happen. What if he loses his super soldier serum? Well, yeah, he could lose his super soldier serum, Johnson asks. Alternatively, he could just have that happen to him from being siphoned as a battery for Battle World for however many years it is. I was always disappointed in the comic about how short Battle World's been around. Hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully they can rectify that. Crazy on You says Loki might be akin to Molecule Man. I feel like Loki's dying. I feel like both Lokis... Well, I guess it doesn't matter if both Lokis are in there. I feel like past Loki, the one with the TVA suit, that's really what sold it for me, that the whole Steve Rogers is the reason that Doctor Doom goes nuts or whatever, is when the TVA Loki showed up. I feel like Chair Loki... Loki holding Yggdrasil, the World Tree. I feel like he's dying. I feel like Doom's killing him because Doom wants that power. Let's see. Where am I? Aaron Express. How does Scarlet... Oh, I already did that one. Crazy on You. Dr. Doom needs an anchor being for his ship. Does Latveria have an ocean? Or need... No, Latveria is a landlocked country. Diego. Could Loki replace the Molecule Man? Secret Wars as a power source. Dr. Doom, the family. Yeah, Dr. Doom's a real homebreaker. He's a family breaker, as Crazy on You says. End of Across the Spider-Verse should end with an incursion tease like the comic. Is that what it's called? Is that the new one? Into the Spider... Or is it Across the Spider-Verse Part 2? Or is it a different title? Here's the thing about that, Diego. That movie ain't coming out before Secret Wars. I highly doubt it. Tactical J, I hear Doom is going to kill Steve's son and Doom will rip out Loki's heart. Imagine. How crazy would that be if Dr. Doom... Has anyone here seen Evil Dead Burn? If you have, there's a very specific post-credit scene. Imagine Doom doing that to Steve Rogers' kid. Beyond the Spider-Verse, that's what it's called. Thank you. Morphin' crazy on you. Yeah. That's really all my kind of ruminations upon the Doomsday trailer. I think I got everything. And again, I'm just excited to see. Well, I don't know if excited is right. I'm interested to see where this does go. Because I want it to be good. I want it to really be enjoyable. I want people to like this and be excited. But I don't know. I don't know if it will be. Man, I wish I could be more hyped for it, I guess. Clearly I am interested. Clearly I have some investment in it, or else I wouldn't have been talking for almost 2 goddamn hours about it. Johnson, do you think we'll get the life rafts from the original 2016 comic? If so, who do you think will survive? Oh my god, that is a hard question. I imagine there's gonna be something like it. Man, but who knows? They're gonna really have to forward press this movie to get the life raft ships into gear. Unless this movie just takes place over a vast amount of time, which doesn't seem like, or maybe it does. I guess we don't know how long the Fantastic Four are going to be on the MCU's Earth before everything starts going down. Who's to say? Will there be an after the Spider-Verse? Yes, and I can see one actor's career not picking up after the Spider-Verse. Diego says it's confirmed to be released on June 18th, 2027. Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if it got delayed. I did not watch Spider-Man Noir yet. Crazy on You asks. I have not gotten around to it. It just, I've been doing the Civil War stuff, and really, I have 2 monitors, but, this is the same reason that I hadn't watched the Marvel Disney Plus shows, or even, the Darth Maul Disney Plus show, is because I want to actually sit down and enjoy it. I don't want to have it on this screen while I have to listen to myself talk on this screen as I'm editing a video or something. Oh, the new Lanterns trailer, asks Boki Woki. Looks good. I'm not going to watch anything else past this. I think it's going to be very interesting. I thought Sinestro kind of looked like Donald Trump when he first showed up. Just it was a weird angle. His face looked really wide. It was odd. I'm interested in it. If you haven't seen the trailer, earmuffs, everybody. But the Manhunters are going to be a part of it. But I think this is a classic little Disney Marvel style trailer trick on the viewer, because when they discussed the Manhunters, who in the comics were the Guardians of Oa, I was about to say Guardians of the Galaxy, which I guess they are, the people who created the Lantern Rings, they originally created a race of androids to secure the universe. That didn't work, and they became killers. But when that's brought up in the trailer, we see a character shift and mutate and shapeshift. Let me actually, I'm looking for, I wrote notes on it because I was going to talk about it next week, but you had to go break it up. But as he's doing that, we see the classic X suspenders that the Martian Manhunter has. Martian Manhunter, a person who can shapeshift. Manhunters in the comics, they've just been robots wearing red costumes. I am trying to get excited for Doomsday, but another part of me is more so just curious to see how they somehow stick the landing. Yes, I think what's going to happen is that they are going to stick the landing. It's going to be a very nice film that has a lot to talk about, while also being a convoluted mess. It was funny hearing or reading Kevin Feige kind of in an interview discuss the reasons that Marvel Comics created the original Ultimate Universe 26 years ago, because he's also being there's a lot of continuity. There's a lot of stories people have to know. There's a lot of this, there's a lot of that, which is exactly why they made the Ultimate Universe. They're like, shit, we got, 40 years worth of stories and character development? People aren't going to start picking up those books. We got to start anew. And then what happens? I brought this up a couple of years ago, too. It's like a fish. You have the fish of the original Marvel Universe. And it's just getting, it's just swimming along. And then there's always a bigger fish. The Ultimate Universe comes along. Munch eats the little fish of the original universe, adapts its own stuff. It creates its own things, gets bigger because of it. But as it keeps going, it keeps getting bigger. It becomes a little bit more convoluted. You got to read more stuff. And then before you know it, starts running for 15 years. Munch. Or actually, no, you don't even eat the original Ultimate Marvel Universe. Oh, although I guess you could say you do. The Ultimate Universe fish gets eaten, munch, by the MCU fish. And it keeps happening. Boki Woki says, I feel like the bad guys are going to be the cult of the Manhunter. Don't know what that is. That makes sense, though, because that militia seems very cult-like. It seems very kind of modern day, kind of like militia right-wing almost thing, which also brings to mind, speaking of the Ultimate Universe, the original Ultimate Doomsday. No, that's not what it was. Ultimate Galactus, as it's pronounced in the Ultimate Universe. There's like a cult led by the Silver Surfers of that reality, which is purely, they're parasites that come to the planet to just create death cults. Maybe it's something like that. CJ, yeah. The Guardians of the Galaxy created a race of authoritative-minded androids, and nothing bad happened after that. Crazy on You, would I prefer James Gunn goes back to the MCU or DCU? DCU, absolutely. I have had way more fun from the stuff from the DCU. It's for me, for someone who is so obsessed with comic books, who's so obsessed with making my own stories, Peacemaker, seasons 1 and 2, there's something about it just gets the creative juices flowing. Like, it just makes me want to tell comic stories and make comic books. Superman was the same way. Supergirl, Supergirl's a solid 3-star film, and I was disappointed because the actors are great, and it should have been a better movie. Let's see. Morph, you saw all the movies to see Doomsday. Recently watched Captain 4 and Thunderbolts, and I think they are neither good, neither bad. Just doesn't hit the emotional core. I really enjoyed Captain America: Brave New World because I'm such a big Incredible Hulk fan from 2008, and I love that it's 100% more of an Incredible Hulk sequel than it is a Captain America movie. But Thunderbolts I didn't see until a year after it came out. I wish we had seen it in theaters, but we just couldn't because we were in the process of moving. But I really liked the Thunderbolts. I should probably do an episode about the Thunderbolts. A very timely review. But I thought it was a very good one. Let's see. Lantern. Ian says, I hope Lanterns is actually respectful towards Hal Jordan. Felt like the DCU disliked him since Ryan Reynolds' movie debacle. Yeah. CJ, I truly do think there is a distinct possibility the MCU will undergo a soft reboot. Thank you for bringing that up, CJ, because that gets to the final bit, which is the post-Secret Wars MCU. I am looking forward to it, as I've noted the whole show, almost 2 hours long, Jesus Christ. Kevin Feige said, no, it's not going to be a reboot. It's like, no, don't worry about it. We're not restarting anything. No. But how can you not? How can you not do that? You got the X-Men coming in. Fantastic Four's coming in. Like, sure, it might not be like, yeah, we're starting from scratch. It could just be, it's going to be like the comics, where stuff kind of just continues on as it was, but some things are different. Iron Man's back, maybe. He has a new set of armor. Armor Wars is a show now. The big things that are really coming out in regards to post-reboot is Adam Driver. Adam Driver may possibly be Magneto, is the rumor. Kevin Feige, again, has been chatting his little gobber box off. He has been talking so much. And one of the things he discussed, I don't know how it came up. I didn't read the full interview just because I wasn't that interested in it. But one of the things is like, oh, well, yeah, it's tradition now that we go to Adam Driver with a role, and he turns us down, and we laugh, and we say goodbye. See you next year, Adam. Hopefully we'll try again then. You know, it's like how it comes off. But why would he bring that up? Like, why is he talking so much? I think it might be true. I think Adam Driver might be Magneto, maybe. Which, you know, what do they do with the Holocaust stuff? How's that work? Even if he was like a kid, it doesn't work. So he's gonna have to be like the grandkid. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Adam Driver's playing Kitty Pryde. Oh, finally they answered. They got my letters. Do I think there's a possibility Sam Wilson will be back as his role as Falcon for the new actor to play Steve Rogers? As much as I like Sam Wilson and Anthony Mackie, I think they might be redoing it, yeah. I think they might either get a new Steve Rogers, they might get a new Sam Wilson. And also, you know, Anthony Mackie probably doesn't want to do the role. I don't know. Does he seem game to do it? Who knows? This brings up a whole new load of questions about, like, what could the new universe possibly be? Spider-Man's still going to be there. I don't know. Fucking, they got 16 years fucking time. Imagine, a child now is going to be born. A child is being born today who will go on to seemingly, if they're still around, watch an MCU movie in 16 years. They'll go with their friends to the cerebral theater where they hijack their cranimatrix into the holographic projectatrons and watch the MCU of 2042. Oh my god, Adam Driver playing Dupe. Oh, finally they got my emails. my big theory about post MCU. This is going to be it. I got to wrap this up because I need to eat dinner and some other stuff. And it's getting late. Here's my big theory. There is going to be another Doctor Doom in Avengers Secret Wars. You can come back here and tell me how right I was in a year and a half or whatever. And I'm not saying that there's going to be two Doctor Dooms. My theory is as such, presented to you. I think Doctor Doom, once he gets his powers, it's going to be revealed that he has regenerated himself into a newer, younger actor who will then go on to play Doctor Doom in the future of the MCU. Because how on earth are they going to have Doctor Doom come in and be only in 2 movies? I'm not even going to count it as 2.5 for his cameo in Fantastic Four. I'll say 2.1 movies. The most popular, well-known fucking Marvel villain? The best Marvel villain? And you're going to put him in 2 goddamn movies played by a guy who's already been here before? I don't see that happening. That is money wasted. And also, they're not going to be paying Robert Downey Jr. his salary for anything after this. So I think in the comic, we see Doom take his mask off and, like, his face becomes putrid. And, like, he's noseless. He looks like a leper. He's, like, missing his lips and shit. Which, you know, what does that really mean? Is that like a metaphor for his mental state, or like how he truly sees himself, and like his magic is kind of adapting itself to how he, like, to exert itself outward onto his body? It's taking a toll on him, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, you know, once Secret Wars ends, he's renewed once again. So maybe, you know, or if anything, that does happen to Robert Downey Jr. Like, fucking, he takes his face off, or he takes his mask off, and his face comes along with it. I don't know. But I really do think that there is going to be a second, or like, you know, it's going to be like a Doctor Who regeneration kind of thing, where the whole movie, up until the big climax where the mask comes off, because that's the thing. It's like poetry. It rhymes. So, what's this one coming out? Doomsday. He's going to take the mask off. Steve Rogers is going to see him. Thor's going to see him. I haven't really talked about Thor, but Thor's going to be like, oh, Tony? And he's going to be like, who the hell's Tony? Please, for the love of God, don't let the rumors be true that this is like it's Tony Stark, but he was adopted by blah, blah, blah. That was a thing people were talking about last year. So you do that in Doomsday. Do it again in Secret Wars. This time it's a younger guy. It's a new actor to then go on to be fucking Doctor Doom. Get like a 30-year-old to play him. Just get him, like, have him, like, train and, go to the same vocal coach and listen to Robert Downey Jr. do his Doom voice on end for hours all day. But, like, how could they not? So I'm going to go over a couple more comments, and then that is it for this episode. Which is running double the length of a regular one. Thank you, everybody, for who tuned in, by the way. Is Adam Driver playing another Doctor Doom? I don't think so. I don't think his nose would fit in the mask. I don't think his ears would work. I do love about Magneto with Adam Driver's, like, delivery of lines. It's like, mutants are the future, Charles! They don't no longer matter! That's like how he always delivers his yelling lines. It's very, I want to hear him do that. Doom of FF, they already showed. Oh yeah, Maximo Franco brings up a good point, which is Adam Driver might be playing Mr. Sinister. Man, I did not realize how appealing Mr. Sinister is for a movie adaptation, but they've been trying for years. It used to be John Hamm's gonna be Mr. Sinister in Logan. Like someone else might be John Hamm might be Mr. Sinister in the New Mutants. Although I guess, knowing Hollywood, it does make sense that they would really want to get a guy named Mr. Sinister into there. Ian, that's a good point. If they do an MCU reboot, they will. They should go in and replace everyone. I don't think they're going to replace everyone. They're not replacing Spider-Man, obviously. They're probably not going to replace Thor, because I think they're going to do a Thor 5. Which, who else? Captain Marvel, I would love to see Brie Larson. Iman Vellani. Love Iman Vellani. Where the fuck is she at? Bring her back, please. I'm really hoping Young Avengers is a thing. I'm hoping Secret Wars is an adaptation of the 2015 event, and also somehow mixes in, like, the Children's Crusade, where the Young Avengers have to save the day. Because that seems like it could be a thing, like Jean Grey, maybe. Maybe Jean Grey takes the Lila Miller kind of, like, role, or, like the Miles Morales role, where, like, they remember the previous universe. It makes sense for Jean to do that. And so she starts, like, unlocking people, and she forms the Young Avengers, and it's like, it's Catherine Newton, it's Haley Steinfeld, Iman Vellani, Patriot. Who are the younger male characters? Are there really any? Riley from Iron Man 3. CJ, thank you for saying it was a blast and catching the stream. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Do you want the Comic Schtick podcast to be a live stream, or are you happy with it just being a pre-recorded thing that comes out? I guess we'll have to see. Let me know in the comments below. Crazy on You, a director I want in the MCU. Robert Eggers, because I think he would hate it. A movie I want to happen? A movie in the MCU that I want to happen? Arbor Wars, although I have long had a pitch for the perfect MCU rendition of Ecstatics or Excellence. The Michael Red Peter Milligan weird X-Men offshoot from the 2000s. Although it would work better as a show, as like a pseudo-reality show, like a mockumentary, and I want Glenn Powell to play Zeitgeist. Favorite movie this year? Let me go back up to the top, to those ones that I talked about. What is my favorite movie this year? Man. Hold on, let me go to my letterbox, because I can't remember what I've watched. I want to say... Hoppers was fucking fantastic. I'm in love with Hoppers. I'm gonna say it's a tie between Hoppers and and 28 years later, the Bone Temple. Vision Quest will have the Young Avengers. Honestly, that's disappointing. Okay, everybody, people are saying live stream is way better, so thank you. Christopher Nolan MCU movie? Oh god, don't get me started on Nolan. My wife went and saw what's the movie? The Odyssey in IMAX. She wasn't a fan. She did not like the cinematography of it. Or like the updates and the rendition to the story. I don't care. I'm not gonna go see the Odyssey. Not for like stupid reasons like, oh, Elliot Page is in it and Zendaya's in it and Lupita Nyong'o? Oh my god, I have to look at Lupita Nyong'o twice? I really want her to come back for Black Panther 3. How could she not? She's the new Black Panther's mom. But I didn't see Inception until 10 years after the movie came out. It took the pandemic for me to finally watch Inception. So I'm going to give the Odyssey another 10 years, and in 2036 I'll watch it. But a Christopher Nolan MCU movie would be boring as shit because just the Batman stuff, like Batman Begins is my favorite of his Batman trilogy. Because it's actually interesting to look at, and it has neat ideas. It still brings in the, it has the realism, but it doesn't take away the whimsy of the idea, unlike Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises. So I think a Christopher Nolan movie would have to be like Damage Control or something. It'd be one Sentinel Squad, like in the Civil War event. It would be something that's just so fucking toned down, so removed from everything else. I am not watching X-Men 97. I haven't gotten to it yet. I don't remember if I finished the first season. I honestly don't. I remember seeing Genosha blow up, the Storm Forge one, Jubilee and Sunspot go into a video game, but I legitimately have no recollection of them like getting scattered across time or whatever. And also, I want to do commentaries, but I also want to do commentaries on the 90s X-Men cartoon, because that's another one I've never watched. One MCU director that I want to come back, Joe Dante. Did Joe Dante do First Avenger? I'd like to see him take a crack at something. Maybe, I don't know, I feel like he could do a good Deadpool. Joe Dante, he's done like weird kind of dark comedies, like Gremlins 2. Gremlins 2, if you think about it, is really Deadpool, the original Deadpool. Yeah, the aesthetic of a Nolan movie is real life. Even in the Odyssey, here I go, I'm still fucking talking. Even in the Odyssey, I saw a picture of the Cyclops. It's not like the Harryhausen Cyclops. It's not like, the Cyclops that you would imagine. Even the fucking Cyclops, he had to be like, well, how actually can we make this look like a genetic monstrosity? This is my terrible fucking Christopher Nolan impression. So, like, when you look at it, he looks like he's a genetic mutant with, like, you can see, like, a little, like, undeveloped eye over here, and, like, his face has been turned weirdly, like he's a product of incest. Like, his nose is twisted and, like, split, like he has a hair lip. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Have some fun. Like, I guess for him, that is fun. That is the whimsy of it. I don't know. I'm not going to watch it. Like I said, I'm not watching it for another 10 years. All right. There we have it. You have made it to the end of the I guess it makes sense for this episode to be extra long. It's the triumphant return of the Comic Schtick Podcast. Now that I finally have fucking time to do it after spending 3 months making non-stop videos on Marvel's Civil War event. If you haven't checked those out, check them out now. And I will say this, there is a compilation video coming, and it's probably a lot longer than you think it is. Let me know what you thought of everything we discussed here in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Marvel's Wolverine a video game? What are your thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day? And is Liquid IV canon? Is the Liquid IV canon? Is it? Because I think so. I think we gotta make it canon. If anybody can ever reach out to Daniel Destin Cretin, ask him. Say, Smokey wants to know. Smokey's Comic Vault wants to know. It's the Liquid IV canon. And Avengers Endgame Encore. Don't forget that fun one with Infinity Vision. Is anyone who's gonna go see that? How many people here are gonna go see Endgame Encore? And finally, of course, Avengers Doomsday. What are your thoughts on my thoughts on Avengers Doomsday? What are your theories? What are your worries? What are your worries and what are your hopes for Doomsday and subsequent Secret Wars? And what would you like to see happen in a rebooted MCU? Or like a soft relaunch, rather. You know, it's like when a restaurant closes down for a while, and then you head back on in, and not much has changed, except they reupholstered the seats. As always, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Smokey's videos for early access to videos, movie commentaries, which will be making a return, again, now that I have more time. And all of my self-published comics are posted on there as well, along with my own little write-ups and, like, commentaries to go alongside it. Like behind-the-scenes stuff and, like, why I made what I did, the decisions. Also, my Etsy shop, wilde.etsy.com, where you can pick up the physical copies of all my... fuck. Usually these outros take me a couple takes. My Etsy shop, wilde.etsy.com, where you can pick up the physical copies of all my books. Every purchase comes with a free head sketch of any character of your choice. Fully colored as well. So I had sketches, you know, from like the bust up. What else? Is that it? I think that's it. And, you know, listen in to future episodes of the Comic Schtick Podcast, just about anywhere podcasts are heard. Mostly Spotify. I don't really know what the other ones are. Podbean. Others, it's not on Apple Podcasts, if that's still a thing. Because that was too much of a hassle for me to set up. Because I don't have anything Apple related. I put all my money behind Steve Jobs. Fuck me. God damn it. You didn't see that. I put all my money behind Bill Gates, and boy, am I happy to do it. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts were, and I'll put a poll up on the channel to see if you want the live streams or the pre-recorded tapes. Jesus Christ, I'm old. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Now I just have to sit here until I can stop streaming. Oh, it still hasn't stopped. Oh God.